Put the gun down.
Sir, I know this looks bad, but this isn't mine.
Put the gun down
Okay.
now and back away.
Okay.
Sheriff, you don't understand. Yeah. We were attacked by clowns. Oh my God, you're insane. You're an insane person.
I'm just doing what my daddy did before me and his daddy did before him.
Tradition.
Oh, thank God, people. We're finally coming to the end of the Children of Corn retrospective.
Oh,
It has been a long one. You know, we've had a good month of downloads for these. You know why I figured it out? It's because you assholes don't have to watch this shit. That's why.
it's like a public service we do, as I've said before. It's like we're watching them, so you people don't have to. So you're welcome.
Despite how bad the series can be, it's got some pluses, and we'll dive into it after we talk the final one, and then we're going to jump into a little treat for y'all. We're going to wrap with children. After we talk about Children of Corn, we're going to do Clown in a Cornfield. And that's, it's about a clown in a cornfield. Get it?
Yeah.
And then we'll jump in. It's a good way to jump into the slasher, which is what technically Clown in a Cornfield is, to the new Scream, which will be our next podcast. Our next podcast will be Scream, The Housemaid, Send Help, and Primate. And then we're going to get away from horror and other aspects of, or maybe thrillers, I guess you can say, and dive into gritty crime dramas, Michael Mann, and so forth.
So we're basically giving horror a miss to stick to Hannibal Lecter.
So, well, we won't really dive into Hannibal Lecter as much because it's Manhunter, but we'll be talking Michael Mann. And I've been thinking we got to do the Dirty Harrys. So our next retrospective, I don't consider the Michael Mann really. It's a retrospective, but it's not like a series of films. It's the works of Michael Mann. So I would like to do a retrospective of the Dirty Harrys. Those are so good. Tackle some westerns again. Maybe the Man with No Name trilogy.
The spaghetti westerns. Yeah,
spaghetti westerns, the good, the bad, the ugly, or the Dollars trilogy.
And there's also, there's a ton of other spaghetti westerns that could be done as well. I mean, not even Sergio Leone.
I think mainly the ones people want to hear about. They don't want to hear about some
random one.
Starring Nomar Garcia
Who's he?
as the man. I don't know. That's my point. I think they want to hear something that they know.
Well, Once Upon a Time in the West.
But there's
one big spaghetti western.
Yeah, that was the one written by Dario Argento.
And, it stars Charles Bronson as harmonica man.
There's everybody.
Henry Fonda as well.
All right, so we're going to wrap this one up. We said we should have started with this one, but we're going to end with a short film. Kind of makes sense to end with a short film because I think the argument with this Stephen King novel, it's not a novel, it's based on it's not even a novella, which is most of his stuff. This is actually based on a few page short. So my whole argument was a lot of these stories were elongated and the runtime kept getting lower and lower from an hour and a half to an hour and I think 21 minutes is the lowest one. And so does it play better as a short film? Because literally it's based on, I think, a 3-page short, something like that. That was what's in Penthouse, as we talked about.
Obviously, depending on the size of Penthouse's pages, but no, it's generally a short story of a few thousand words.
So does a short story play better than the feature films we've been talking about? The short film is called Disciples of the Crow. You can find it on YouTube. It's an easy watch. It's 19 minutes. This was directed by John Woodward. Hasn't done much. So that's pretty much all I've got for him.
Yeah, he made a couple of them, I think, but nothing. It never really had.
No, they're nothing really worth mentioning. But instead of Gatlin, he changed it to Jonah, Oklahoma. It takes place between 1971 and 1983. You pretty much have 3 characters, Vicky and Bert, who we all know, and yes, they're still both fucking obnoxious
and arguing and hitting each other.
Yeah. Even the man's more vile this time. And then you got the preacher, or as I like to call him, the kid with the big fucking mole.
Yeah, well, it's a birthmark, and I think they
Um,
basically really give him a birthmark, which isn't in the story, basically just so that whenever it flashes forward, and it's played actually by the director, John Woodward, the older, like, main creepy kid, it's really just so that the audience can identify him by this birthmark on his chin.
Yeah, it sticks out. We're gonna call him Moley Boy
Adrian Mole.
or what now? That he he who walks behind the mole.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Now I don't know where to go with this one. I'll tell you right now, it's not getting a pass from me, but it's got some things that work, like the ending, and we'll dive into it. So I do like it's got some cool stuff. I do like you have a shot of this creepy scarecrow. And the scarecrow but it's like a pillowcase that they just took off a pillow. Obviously, it's not like a normal scarecrow or done professionally or anything like that. And it's done with like crayons with a smiley face. It's quite fucking creepy, actually. I'd love to get a doll of this thing. And I kind of like that the way they did that, because it goes to show you that this obviously was done by kids.
And also, I would say that what I especially like about this is how grounded and realistic it feels, almost, maybe not quite, but almost documentary style, because the kids look authentic. They look like kids who have been running about the streets without sort of parental guidance for the last 12 years or whatever. They look gritty and real and believable, whereas in some of these films, they look like sort of stage kid actor types with a bit of makeup on them, pretending to be creepy. This to me feels more grounded and realistic.
Well, I wouldn't say realistic, but yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. It's shot in a way where it almost feels like this whole short film plays like the beginning sequence of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was definitely getting vibes of that.
It's shot very grainy. You got the opening shot of a scarecrow, which I believe that's the Texas Chainsaw. You have the opening shot of the decomposed body. You have, so it definitely plays a wink and a nod to the Texas Chainsaw, maybe even the Hills Have Eyes.
There's a definite 70s horror vibe about it. Even films like The Turn That Dreaded Sunset, I was just getting those types of 70s vibes from it. And this is actually a student film. And Keane, apparently, it was a thing Keane had where he would have sold the rights to his stories to student filmmakers for $1. And I believe this is one of them.
Yeah, he did that quite a bit. He's still quite gracious with his works. He's very open to reinterpretation of his stuff, which I've always respected King for. But yeah, so you got the creepy pillowcase, and then you'll see a scarecrow down the road, which is more of an actual scarecrow, but it's a dead person, somebody who's obviously been sacrificed. So you've got two angles of you got two opposites of the same spectrum. You've got a childlike clown, which is quite creepy, and then you've got pretty much a murdered, probably the cop,
the blue man,
who we keep mentioning the blue man, who's on the side of the road as well. So you've got, it's a nice introduction to these creepy little fuckers. But the mole is fucking distracting. I'll tell you that right now. But it's not a mole, it's a birthmark or whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. So they're making some fucking stew. And this is pretty much what they're doing here, is they're showing you them take over the town. This is 1971. And they're getting ready. At first, you thought they were going to kill him in the church. It's kind of badly cut. I understand this is an amateur film, but they're in the church and they got the weapons in their hands, and their kids are all nodding at each other when they're with their parents in the church. Then we cut to they kill their parents outside the church in some other form.
When they're lying in bed.
Kind of a misdirect there. I thought it would be more ballsy to kill them in the church, to be honest with you.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
But I can understand why they had to do it, because these kids probably would not have been successful if all the parents were in there in one place at the one time. They kind of got to separate them, because a bunch of adults are going to take down these kids easily. So, but it was kind of didn't understand why they showed the kids getting ready to kill the parents in the church.
I
didn't
think
make any
it was
sense.
more,
but anyways,
set up basically why the kids are going to do this, because you see mustachio guy like feeling the leg of the woman beside him, and then it's basically the kid, basically Mole Man is disgusted and it's basically setting up how essentially the reason the kids are going to kill the adults is because once you become an adult, you become corrupted and you become evil. So it's righteous to kill them.
So they cut to another ritual of some sorts with fucking seeds and crow feet. So the girl, we meet one girl, she's got a fire poker. The other kid has a deadly weapon of sorts. And Molly has an axe or a pickaxe, whatever he's got. And then we don't see anything. And they're pretty much going to go kill their parents. That's what they're doing. And then it cuts to 1983. And Molly.
He's growing up.
is older now. So, but it opens up this one, we're familiar with this scene. Kid's being chased in the cornfield. He gets hit by the car. But instead of seeing his throat cut, Vicky starts yelling at Bert. Bert says, "Wait a minute, I didn't do this. Why? Because I didn't stick this in him." And he takes the knife out that stabbed him. It's a crow dagger that killed him. Instead of a cut throat, that's obvious. Obviously, for visual effects purposes, they probably decided, let's just make it a crow dagger. So that's kind of things they changed a bit. I don't get, if it's called Disciples of the Crow, right? Why would you have scarecrows up? Because scarecrows are supposed to intimidate crows.
Well, to stop the crows from, as the very name suggests, they're to stop the crows from basically ruining the crops type thing.
Yeah, so why would you put up scarecrows if you want the crows?
I don't know. Maybe they are, I don't know. It's not explained. But within the context of this version of the story, crows, for some reason, which isn't explained as well, but maybe that's a good thing. Not everything has to be explained. But crows are basically held in high regard. They're considered majestic creatures. None of this is in the original story or actually any of the 11 films.
He who walks among the crows.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, solved it. But yeah, they're basically they basically worship crows here.
So what's with the bird dipper, and it dipping into the water, and there's seeds in the little cup next to it? What is the point of that?
It's like some sort of folk horror ritual type thing to do with this made up religion that they now have.
So you don't know.
No, later on you do, although it's not fully explained, later on you do see this children of the corn, their Bible, which is in the story, the original story, where they have their own like rewritten Bible about he who walks behind the road.
They had that in all of them. They had that in the remake in 2009, when the husband goes into the church, reads the Bible, and the one in 83 did it as well.
That's right. Yeah.
But no, I don't understand the bird dipping its beak.
Oh, sorry, you mean that plastic bird
into
thing?
the water?
Oh, yes.
Yes, the bird beaker.
Yes,
It's not doing anything but dipping into the water, and then there's a little cup of seeds. That's not.
I think it's meant to be symbolic or something. I don't know. It's not fully explained at all, I don't think. But yeah, you see that a couple of times. You see that in the 70s and also in the 80s. But it's not, like I say, yeah, it is quite random.
What's with, so you also got the fucker, you've got, so there's a scene where they're going into town, right? And she's got the dagger in her hand, as you do. You carry the murder weapon in your hand. Yeah. And she's making out with it.
Yeah,
did you catch that?
She was sort of like playing with it type thing.
She had the beak in her mouth, and she was like,
yeah, there is something weird going on. Overall, this almost feels dreamlike, because there is a sort of weird toying with it, playing with it sort of thing that doesn't fully actually, it's never fully elaborated upon. Maybe it's suggested that she's horny, because basically Bert and Vicky are going through a breakup.
Oh, okay. Don't try to explain this as she's horny, so she's going to make out with the murder weapon that the child was killed with. You actually, you need to stop watching fucking Lynch.
There are all sorts
because if this was in a Lynch film, if this was in a Lynch film, you'd go, "Oh my God, I get the crow."
Well, I mean, I get. I'm only joking. No, I
Yeah,
just
yeah, bet you do,
suggested
you freak.
that possibly that could be a thing. I'm not saying that is definitely what it is. You would have to ask the director. I believe he's still alive. But basically, I'm just it's a guesswork here. It's not elaborated upon, along with the plastic bird thing.
Right. So they all get attacked at the same time. The finale, Bert and
Yes.
Vicky, and he throws the car keys to her so she can drive away, kind of protect her. One of the kids gets killed, like they did in the 2009 one. She stabs them a few times. They kind of damage the car a bit, but her and Bert get away. But if you watch the film, they die.
Yeah, because they're
A lot of people don't catch it. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to spoil it here, but they do die. And that's why I kind of like it, because of the ending. Their deaths are off camera. And I do like how they do it. I'm going to tell you how they do it. So if you don't want to know about the little spoiler, it's a 20-minute watch, easy watch, and come back and listen to the final review. But yeah, they drive away. But one of the little fuckers, probably Moley or somebody, sticks his head of corn hard into the front of the car, causing it to overheat, damage itself.
Yeah.
They don't know this yet. So they're driving away. They're having a good laugh. I don't know why they're laughing, but fuck, they're driving away. They're driving away, and the cars, you can see the hot signs coming up. It's overheating. And the piece of corn that's sticking out of the engine starting to smoke. So, and then as they're driving away, going, ha ha ha, we made it. You see a flock. I guess they're called a
murder of crows. Yes,
it's called the murder of crows. See, I knew that. Pretty good, huh? Yeah. Pretty good. Book learning over here. Book learning.
Every day school day.
So we see as they drive out of camera, out of our sight, we see a bunch of murder of crows coming behind them. That means they're not going to make it.
Basically, it's heavily suggested. Yeah, it's a bleak ending, and basically they're well screwed, essentially, to do with the car, which is going to break down very soon.
All right. So there you go. I actually rather have that ending. If they could have taken that ending, a slightly bigger budget, and put that in the original one, I would have been okay with that. Because even with the kids still in there, we didn't like the kids in the first one. But if you put the kids in the car and they're driving away, we're going to adopt you kids. Ha, ha, ha. That Disney ending we hated. That would have been a better ending, that they actually damaged their car. They don't know they damaged their car, and somebody's coming to get them off camera. That would have been a better ending, I think. So this has a better ending, I think, but it's amateurs.
I like the sort of the almost gritty sort of strangeness of it. I must admit, and I do like some of the imagery. You see like the sun and stuff in the background, with the crows and stuff. I think it showed a lot of potential, and I think there's some very good elements. And generally, it does feel much more grounded than a lot of the feature films in the series. I like it, and I would give it a pass.
Okay. Yeah, to each their own. Now, we're going to wrap up the Chill of the Corn here. We're not going to go through all of them. I can't. But I will say this. Okay. Final thought by Kieran.
Like Jerry Springer.
Yep. And so, Chill of the Corn 1 gets a pass because you got, Linda Hamilton, Peter Horton, you got Isaac and Malachi. That's all, you've got. You got that. And even back, it was filmed in 83, 84, it was still grainy, and you still have that old school Texas Chainsaw kind of feel. Did not like the Hollywood ending. I liked to have seen parts of the 2009 version implemented into that one, but we're never going to get that. But it gets a pass because it's more nostalgic for me. I remember reviewing it, and again, it's a scene stealer by the two youngins, Courtney Gaines and John Franklin. So for that, it gets a pass. You give me a creepy villain, I'm okay with it. It's a little elongated. It could have been shorter, but it's not the best. I'm not going to go past the other ones because they're just god awful. Now, I will mention an honorable mention to Fields of Terror, which I liked. I believe that's what it's called. Bear with me, sorry. And that is the one that's more of a slasher film. You've got a group of fans, friends, the car breaks down, and they all get slaughtered one by one. You had better acting. You had better acting in that one. You had more of a story in that one. You had some good street cred with some good veterans in there peppered in. So that one got a pass. Now, when I say pass, I'm not like, oh my God, rent it. It's the best thing ever. No, it's just for what we be getting. It's pretty good. Then I gave a recommendation for Runaway. Runaway is more kind of what we just talked about, the short film. It's just a small town woman and her son ran away from the cult, and it had a really good ending with the twist I didn't see coming. A couple good kills, again elongated, but I kind of liked it. Played like a Twilight Zone. You didn't really know what was going on, and the misdirect of who the killer really is. I should have caught it, but I didn't. So it fooled me, and just because it fooled me, it gets a pass. I give the 2009 remake a pass. I think that's actually quite a clever little remake. It's the true vision of what the original producer wanted to do with Children of the Corn, the true vision of Stephen King. I like the PTSD aspect of it. With Bert, I couldn't stand Vicky in it. That was a big problem I had with it. And the biggest problem I had with it was the orgy or the sex scene.
Jeffrey Epstein scene.
Even though the kids aren't really, with the kids clapping and watching this girl pretty much orgasming while she's being fucked by they're both minors being, fucking each other. It just takes you out. We talked about how the series need to be elongated, but doesn't have an actual runtime short story. So you got to implement your own stuff. To put that in there just seemed ugly. And I was really enjoying it, but to put that in there, it takes you out. Doesn't destroy the film, but the 2009 does get a pass for what they're trying to do and being more loyal to the source material. Then we get to the 2023 remake for 2020. You can look at it either way. That's the best of all of them. It's pretty much just a prequel, to be honest with you. Very little is based on the source material, but I just like the execution. The director's got great street cred. He's a great writer at heart. And I like the acting. I like the kids. I like the deaths. It's got some unexplained issues, like how'd you get the parents into the jail cell exactly? But you got some pretty disturbing deaths with burying the people alive. I love the corn monster. You give me a corn monster finally that I can appreciate. I'm happy. So that too also gets a pass. So, in all fairness, considering this franchise, it's a chore to do 3 films, guys, in a week and watch them. But I'll say this, the chore is more having to record it, edit it, get that done. Watching them wasn't that bad. Listen, if you're bored one day and you want to watch a horror franchise you haven't really focused on or seen, they're passable for the most part. But the ones I mentioned, I check out. I especially check out the reboot that came out in 2020, 2023. I check out the 2009, and of course, check out the original and check out Fields of Terror. And Runaway. There you go. There's the ones I would pick out of this group.
Yeah, for me, it would be obviously the original, and there is nostalgia there as well with me. I think with the rest of them, there are some good points. I mean, obviously, some are better than others, and we're not talking, gold standard here, really. But I quite enjoy the campy silliness of 2 and 3. The second one is The Final Sacrifice, and the third one is Urban Harvest. Where they decide to go on holiday to Chicago. Amy's kids on holiday.
No, they got adopted.
Right, yeah, but for all intents and purposes, a holiday. But yeah, Fields of Terror, quite enjoyable. I quite like the 5th one, The Gathering, with Naomi Watts.
I hated that one.
Yeah, the 2009, I'm sort of jumping ahead, 2009 remake has some good moments, some not very good moments, and some downright creepy and not in a good way moments, which you've just talked about. Also, I quite like the Billy Drago one. I know it's not perfect and it's quite forgettable, but I mean, I thought there was some quite good tension in it. And also,
Revelation.
Yeah, no, Genesis, I think that is.
Oh, that was Genesis. Revelation was the shit one with the close-ups.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Revelation was pretty forgettable. Actually, for me, one of the worst. The most recent one, the 2020 one, it has some good moments that I enjoyed as well. Not perfect. It has Bruce Spence. Yeah, I mean, overall as a franchise, I mean, this was never like Children of the Corn was never top tier franchise anyway. Like Freddy and Jason and Chucky and all the rest. But I, I don't dislike it. I don't dislike any of the films on their own. I think there's some nonsense there. Like obviously, especially with the Isaac's Return 666 one and the one in the tenement and stuff.
Yeah, see, a lot, most of these are
I
shit.
know, but there is I will always have a certain affection for straight-to-video horror.
Shit.
Yeah, I will try, and maybe a bit too much, maybe try and pull out the sort of the good and the pluses, but it is what it is. It's a Children of the Corn franchise. It's, we'll probably get another one in a few years' time, so we'll have to follow it up.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. We're going to end the Children of the Corn retrospective. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll do another retrospective. Don't know what, but I'm pretty confident it's going to probably be Dirty Harry's or something cool like that. But yeah, we're going to end this one with, again, we're going back to the cornfield with a movie that just came out not too long ago. I watched it, rather enjoyed it. Watched it again, still got some issues, as you always, when you watch it for the podcast, but it's quite enjoyable. It's called Clown in a Cornfield. This is written and directed by the man who did a fucking comedy gold horror film. Anybody listening to this podcast who've seen it, you all love it. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
It's a Woody Harrelson one. Yeah.
One of the funniest. No? Woody Harrelson's done that.
Oh, I ain't getting mixed up. Right. It's the one with, is it Jesse Eisenberg or something? Nope.
You're thinking of Zombieland.
Sorry, that's what I'm thinking of. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Cool.
No, Tucker and Dale v. Evil is one of the funniest movies of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's, guys, you got to see it. I haven't laughed so hard since I saw like The Evil Dead 2. It's just so funny and so self-aware. Check it out. But the guy's name is Eli Craig. And I looked this up. This is kind of cool. His mother is Sally Field.
I didn't know that.
And her name is Field.
Right. Cornfield.
Get it?
Yeah. Clown in a Cornfield.
There you go.
Yeah.
See? Look at that. It all comes full circle here at the Citizen Frame retrospective.
Well, there's also similarities to this and another recent slasher made by another Eli Roth, Thanksgiving. So
yeah, I was going to mention it's got a Founders Day. We talked about Founders Day as well.
Yes, Founders Day too. Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it does. But this is based on the source. This is based on the very popular novel and actually Stoker award-winning novel of the same name, Clown in a Cornfield. Play Adam Cesare.
Yes.
I think it's Cesare. He's got 3 other novels based on this. Don't know if a series of sequels are going to come out. The one thing that this movie gets to pay, it only made $13 million. It went to Shudder, but it was, I think it was more of, we talked about testing the waters on newer filmmakers. And I'm going to tell you right now, this movie was shot for $1 million. That is impressive for what we get.
That is impressive, because this is very, overall, it's well produced and well acted, and whatever you see, if you didn't know about the novel and the popularity of the novel that it's based on, once you see the title Clown in a Cornfield, a lot of people would immediately think, yeah, this is going to be complete cack. It's going to be, badly acted, badly directed, badly written. One of these studenty type films where they're trying to be ironic, but trying to be clever, but they're not really. I watched one a couple of years ago called Bad CGI Gator, which was awful. Avoid it. But this is very good. Well, for a slasher, I think this is the best, one of the best of the modern slashers I've seen.
Yeah, what I like about it, it doesn't sell itself out. And we'll talk about some of the topics it deals with. There's some nice Mr. X, a kind of a fun one with Cole, and with Rust. You have 2 veteran actors who I really like to see. Will Sasso as the sheriff. You got Kevin Durand, who plays Arthur Hill. We'll jump into it now as we talk Clown in a Cornfield. We got Katie Douglas, plays Quinn. Got Aaron Abrama as Dr. Maybrook, the father. We got Carson McCormick as Cole. Kevin Durand as Arthur Hill. Will Sasso as the sheriff. And then we got characters like Rust, Janet, Ronnie, Tucker, and Matt. And it takes place in it starts off in 1991. and there's a barn party. Got these kids drinking, partying as they do. And you see a girl taking off her top, and she goes, hee, and the boyfriend follows her into the cornfield, and they get their comeuppance. I do like the shot. She's just spitting up. He finds her in the cornfield, and she's just spitting up blood. We don't really see her death as much.
It's building up.
But we do have this nice long shot, and you kind of mentioned it, that for $1 million, this thing's quite competently shot. There's a nice shot where they sticks a pole into the boyfriend and lifts him up above the cornfield. And he's like, still like a fish on a stick, still moving. But we see it from a distance, and the corn's blowing in the wind and stuff. It's actually beautifully shot, and a nice little kind of an introduction to what we're about to get. And then this cuts to 2025.
I mean, there is talent here right across the board, including with the acting as well. And, this guy, Eli Craig, isn't it, the director? There's obvious, he knows the sort of nuts and bolts of a slasher, and how, the slasher fans, what the slasher fans will want from a slasher. So, yeah.
So when we cut to 2025, this place is in Kettle Springs, Missouri. The dad's pretty much of a nice guy. I do like the fact the mom's dead. And
right. Lovely.
Quinn's
yeah, right.
So you got Quinn, the dog, a little cutie pie. Quinn, and her dad's a doctor. It's kind of the cliche. The dad always seems to be the town doctor coming in to town. They did that with arachnophobia and all these horror films. There's always seems to be the new guy's always the town doctor.
And they're from the big city, and they're going down to the small town to live there. And there's that clash of where the city folk moving in with these sort of country bumpkins type thing. The guy who plays it, his name just escapes me at the moment. He was in Hannibal, the series. He played like a forensic type character, but he was a recurring character.
Oh, okay. I didn't recognize him. I thought it was one of his first films, but I'm sure he's out there somewhere.
No, he was in like tons of episodes of Hannibal as the same recurring character. Not a big major character, but like a sort of quirky forensics guy they used to go to.
Now we meet the characters pretty quick: Janet, Ronnie, Tucker, and Cole, and we meet Rust. Rust kind of walks her to school. Rust is kind of the loner, the hunter, kind of the. Yeah, he could be the red herring, I guess, because he's tall and big, like some of the clowns are. But I will say this: the red herring's the best with Rust and Cole than it is with the actual twist of who the killer is. Because when no offense, if you guys haven't seen it, we're going to spoil it here, of course. If you cast fucking 6'4" Kevin Durant in something, I'm going to go on a limb here and say he's the villain. All right, and he's a douche right off from the beginning. Yeah. But the film does play really well with the misdirects, because right away it's going to be him and the sheriff, but they kind of teeter where, maybe it's not, and it does play that well.
Well, I like the fact that essentially, there's multiple killers. It's basically a cult. It's actually an inverse of Children of the Corn, where with the Children of the Corns, it's the kids wanting to kill all the adults. Well, in this, it's actually the adults wanting to kill all the kids, because they're snotty-nosed little punks.
Yeah, I want to dive a little deeper in here, because there's not much to talk about, because here's how the film works. You got the introduction of the main kids, as who I just mentioned: Janet, Ronnie, Tucker, Cole, Matt, Quinn, and Rust. And the film, guys, you're 45 minutes into it. It's about an hour and a half. The rest of the 45 minutes, guys, and I'm not kidding, is a chase scene. It's finale. It's just nonstop. And that's what really gets it a pass. They're like, okay, here's the kids, here's your Scream-esque kind of characters, and go. And it has a really nice setup. What they do here is that they have this thing called Founders Day, which you can check our earlier podcast from a couple Halloweens ago. We talk a film about Founders Day, which does have this. Actually, this was the book, so technically Founders Day would have ripped off this.
I haven't read the novel. I know it came out a few years ago. I said actually watching this
2020
made me want to go and read the series of novels connected to it. So I don't know. I don't think I don't think it's a big leap for any of these small towns to have some sort of parade. You know, it's small town Americana. They have those types of parades and stuff, don't they? I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's very
Yeah.
popular to some kind of Thanksgiving
Yeah.
Day does it too. They have their Founders Day, so all small town USA's will have some kind of to celebrate some kind of bicentennial of some sort or
Yeah.
whatever they do. But they're famous for their corn syrup. And a few years ago, their factory burned down, causing issues within the town because it burned down and their cost their main source of income takes a hit. So that's kind of where they're at. So what we think's happening is that the sheriff and the mayor, Arthur Hill, that he plays Cole's dad, and they're trying to implement more stricter rules. Very easy detention. We find out they get detention very easy, and they're very strict with the kids because they want to keep they don't want as much chaos. Because over the 100 years or whatever years it was that they've been having this corn syrup being produced in their town. It's gotten worse and worse as the years gone on because as every decade passes, kids become more aggressive. They become more disobedient. But you're right. It's the reverse, children of the corn. Because it's in the children of the corn, it's the children who have to kill the parents because they become lazy and they become not really taking care of their town as they should be. And that's why one of the reasons the kids take over the town, the children of the corn. This is kind of reverse.
Yeah.
version.
And also the adults, they want to go back to the old ways and, hard working and discipline, all this here. One of the things, and there are several things that I did like about this as well, the teenagers here, the gang, they actually behave like teenagers and they're believable and they're well performed. The young cast is very good.
Yeah, they're not annoying.
Oh, they are, but that's the point. They're annoying.
No, but they're not to the point.
Or a likable
Not-
way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not rolling your eyes
Yes.
annoying like you
Yeah.
get, like we did with the recent I Know What You Did
Yes,
Last Summer,
exactly.
stuff like that. And I like the fact that these five kids get together and they go to this local barn and they just have a couple drinks and everything's innocent. And what they do is they create these videos and it has a clown in it because the corn syrup is a clown.
Mascot,
That's their
yeah.
logo. And so they have this clown called Friendo. No, I looked this up and I was like, Friendo, that sounds familiar. Now, the novelist hasn't said anything, but a lot of people think that is an intentional name that was given to the clown by the author because the author is a fan of No Country for Old Men. And Anton, the creepy villain, played by Javier Bardem, likes to call his people Friendo.
Yep. Yeah. Could well be a connection. there.
So there's, which is fine. I don't think he's ever commit to saying it, but nothing wrong with it. It's a creepy name actually, so go for it. But yeah, so and what they do is they take these. I like the fact they take these fake deaths that Friendo is going to kill, say Tucker, and they film it and then they put it out on the web. Friendo's coming to get you. Friendo's coming to get you. And when Quinn gets the video of the one they did that earlier that evening, she sees another clown hiding in the background. I kind of like that. I like that little planting the seed a bit. Somebody else is watching these kids. And it's a nice way to sell what's about to happen. I like the liquor store scene. I like the scene where it goes to show you that these kids aren't bad kids, what the parents are making them out to be. You have they go to the liquor store and they want to get some beer, as they do. But they decide to distract the store owner, and one of them takes the beer. But Cole ends up paying double for it. He ends up leaving him more money on the till as he sneaks the cash onto the cashier's counter there, and they sneak out. And he still wants to pay for the beer. Yeah, they shouldn't have taken the beer, but they still paid for it. I know it's silly, but usually in these modern day slashers, the kids will just be fucking obnoxious, running around stealing beer.
Well, they're just basically a bunch of dipshits, but they're believable, and you can accept them. And also, I have to say as well, they look like teenagers. They're not 40-year-olds playing, 18-year-olds or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could buy their silliness and their general sort of dipshittery. I thought it worked effectively well.
There's a good scene. I like the infighting between Quinn and the father when Cole drops her off, and it's late night. And he goes, "You know what time it is?" And he goes, "Sir, we're okay." And he asks Quinn, "Have you been drinking?" She goes, "Dad, I'm fine." He goes, "Sir, I had 2 drinks and in the course of 4 hours." And he just says, "That's too many." And he's right. He's actually a good father element in this. And a lot of these slasher films, you don't get to see the father as much. The parents seem to always disappear. But in this film, it's relevant because you had to see two opposite ends of the spectrum. You have this father who's caring, is willing to let Quinn break the rules a bit because of what she's going through, the new move and losing her mother. He's being a little, standoffish for it. But then you've got the other fathers who treat their kids like shit and don't give them the benefit of the doubt and so forth. They're just nasty little brats. So you've got this element of good parenting coming into the town, and then you got the hateful parents that are already in the town. So it's a nice way of,
it's a good
seeing both ends of the
juxtapose
spectrum.
where basically he is the only adult basically in the entire town that isn't a complete prick, but he's a likable character, yeah, and he's not bland or incompetent. You know, the way you usually get a lot of these sort of middle-aged male characters in modern films and TV today, where they're basically portrayed as like incompetent idiots. He's actually competent. He's a doctor, and you know what I mean. He's not Frank Spencer, basically. You know.
I do like what doesn't work, and Screams do it so much better, and it's not fair to compare this to Scream, but we're spoiled to Scream, and it's the scene. It's more fun than it is scary. And I wish they had more scary elements. I mentioned when Quinn gets the video of Tucker dressed as the clown and he's pretending to kill Matt, but we see another clown in the background. We needed more of that.
It is who, yeah. I mean, it's basically it's straight in and no kissing here. You know, once we get a little bit of setup, it's basically the second half, as we said, is basically an extended finale.
Exactly, but and I don't mind having the extended finale, but before that, okay, Tucker's death. Tucker goes home, he's by himself, he sees a Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box scared the fuck out of me, always have as a kid. But he sees the Jack in the Box and he thinks he's being pranked by somebody, and the killer's in the, and then he goes in the closet, nobody's in the closet, and he closed the door. Then when to the door, we see the mirror image of the clown, and the clown cuts his throat, and then he wraps his head in a plastic bag, and he bleeds out. Pretty good death. Nothing. I can't argue that. But it was a lead up to the death.
They're building up.
We needed more tension. All you saw was, there's some dirty clown feet in my coming into the doorway, and you needed that. You needed that phone call. You needed that. That what's your favorite scary movie moment? We needed something to just. Yeah, you know what? Cheat. Give us even a jump scare. We don't get that.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, while I've said it, I feel it's one of the best of the more recent modern slashers. I mean, it's not a masterpiece,
it is.
But so there are some things that that could have been done even more effectively had they been in different hands.
The showdown, they're having their big. It's the 100th annual Founders Day parade. And there's a scene where it gets a little out of hand, and again, the main core of kids are blamed, but they had nothing to do with it. It's where there's a parade, and some half-naked man is on a tricycle, and he's in a clown mask, and he actually, I don't think he meant to do it, but he actually sets the parade float on fire, which was kind of, do that. It's not, that's a little.
It was an accident.
But do we ever find out who did? But do you know who did it? Do we ever know?
I sort of,
because they get blamed for it.
It is a bit confusing, but who's the one who gets his head cut off when he's doing the weights?
That's Matt.
I thought Matt. I was almost thinking it was Matt, who's the one in the mask on the bike. On the basically the unicycle.
Okay, maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was because he doesn't go to jail with the others.
So I got the impression it was him, but it's not really confirmed. And apparently, also from me doing a bit of homework, the Founders Day parade in the book is much more chaotic and crazy, but I'm assuming maybe due to budget they couldn't really follow through with all of that in this film version. But so I got the impression it was Matt.
I always got confused because every time something went wrong, they always blame the core group.
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck? We're just standing here. It didn't. So I want to say, and again, it's not properly explained. Well, they kind of give a try to do a one-line fix by Arthur, who tries to tell them why they do this, but they're trying to get rid of those core. So they're going to blame that core for everything. So I think no matter what happens, that core is getting in trouble. And that's why they threw him in prison. And obviously they have nothing to hold him on. So they have to
seem
let him out.
Illogical that they would have so much seething hatred for their own kids. But, I can get it, maybe like one or two bad parents, just being downright nasty to their kids. But an entire town, it does. But, we're running with it for the sake of the
yeah, see, you don't meet the parents. You don't meet the parents of the other kids. We only know Quinn's and Cole's, really.
And the sheriff,
Cole's
obviously,
parents are going to be batshit crazy. Yeah, and they have nothing to do with the other kids. So we never see their parents.
Yeah.
So that could be an issue, too. We almost needed a scene with them. I know the movie's only an hour and a half, but you always need 5. I don't mind 5-10 minutes of getting to know the other characters because at the end of the day, yes, it's a slasher film. And yes, we just want to see him die. But at the end of the day, it's nice. You got a pretty well-executed film here. It would have been nice to get to know them a little better than just being the ones who are always getting in trouble for something they didn't do.
Then their deaths would have meant more to the audience, and they would have had more effect because you would have sort of spent more time with them and cared for them a little more because they are likable, the kids, and I know that's intentional. I'm sort of jumping ahead here, but there's actually a really funny scene. I know this is all about basically like the older generations and that clash with the younger generations, but there's a really funny scene later on where Quinn and the blonde one are trying to escape whenever they're in the house, and they're trying to get help, and there's a landline and they don't know how to use it.
And they don't know how to use a rotary phone.
They go, oh, where's the button? Where's the button? I did actually laugh out loud at that. Yeah.
No, it does have some. The movie, it is self-aware. The comedy, they understand. They're winking at the audience.
Right.
Some of these jokes do work. They're quite funny, and like I said, it's the guy who did Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is a fucking hilarious film. So guy knows comedic timing, especially during a slasher film, which is pretty much what Tucker and Dale is too.
I mean, it's not in any way nasty, and it's all very tongue in cheek. It is. We're making a fun sort of slasher here in the sort of spirit of the more 80s ones. And in fact, there are direct references to 80s slashers and 70s slashers. Halloween's referenced, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Jason,
Killing the Corn.
Well.
So, but I do like when the rest of the film is just one big chase. They attack the people in the barn. And I do like you have the one clown, and they're like, "What's going on?" And this one girl comes out screaming, and she's got an arrow in her back, and they're like, "What? What's going on?" And then somebody throws a clown head. It's Matt's head, but it's in a clown mask, and the girls think it's fake because they always play jokes on each other. And then you find out it's a real head. And that's where the cast. There's a funny line where Friendo comes out. The one clown. You only think it's one clown at this point. We find out there's like 7 of them. But Friendo comes out. It's a nice shot. He comes out and he's got the spear gun, whatever it is, right? And you have this one idiot come out going, "Hey, everybody, look, it's Friendo." And the minute he says that, Friendo shoots him right in the face.
So the death scenes are gory and they're playful. And while they're not the peak of creative deaths, they still work well.
And then you had Rust, who they thought Rust might have been involved somehow, but Rust shows up and he has the shotgun and he kills the first clown. And then he shoots the hand off of the other clown. And there's a nice scene where this whole time Cole and Quinn they're gonna get it on, you always think. And Quinn makes the move and he rejects her and she's all embarrassed. So they go, and so Rust takes him into this little shed, and all these clowns are trying to get into the shed. I don't know why it took him so long to try to get into that shed. But anyway, Russ and Cole run into each other, and he goes, "Where have you been? I was worried about you." "Well, I missed you too, man." "Oh, I missed you." And then all the girls who've been trying to get into Cole's pants go, Oh.
Yeah, and then I think it's Quinn that says, "What a fucking confusing night."
Yeah. It turns out they used to,
Okay.
in such a small town, they're gay. Yeah. Again, that's a nice little
Yeah.
misdirect. But yeah, so if the rest of the film's just chaos, they have to go through the shitter. Russ creates the bomb. Now you kind of got to see it to talk about it because it's just so batshit crazy. And there's a scene where I didn't catch the first time. Obviously, I'll catch it the second time because I see the film where the girls are separated out from everybody and they're running down the street, and the sheriff comes and Cole's with the girls as well, and the sheriff arrests Cole because he's blaming Cole for everything, as has been happening through the duration of the film. So you go with it. Well, he's going to arrest Cole, and he says, "You girls will stay here, get home. I'm taking him in." And they're like, "What about us?" And he just ignores them and drives off. But he needs to take Cole. We think the sheriff's maybe not up to it. Maybe he's okay. But we find out he needs Cole because the father wants him back because the sheriff and Arthur run this
They want to blame him.
vigilante group, I guess you can say. And he ties him up. He's going to kill him. He's going to kill his own son. And that's what I like about it. Arthur, who's the main villain here, played by Kevin Durand, he's going to kill his son. He doesn't care. I mean, it is his son, not adoptive, not whatever, foster. He is his kid because he blames his son for the death of his sister and his daughter.
But it's also then revealed later on that actually he doesn't, because he actually killed his daughter and actually blew up the factory.
Blew up the factory. Yeah, we find out that Arthur's one who blew up the factory. That's why I have a problem. We find out that Arthur's one who blew up the factory for the insurance money. So why is he going through this whole thing every year, this murder rampage?
The only explanation is that he's a psychopath in a clown costume, and he plays it very well.
But they all are. You got the mother, who's also in costume. You got the sheriff. You got the teacher, who's in costume.
They call it clown cult.
And you got the other three others.
The liquor store
So
guy.
I didn't get their MO. Yeah, I didn't get their MO.
It's completely convoluted. It's basically, I would have liked to have seen more commentary on this whole rivalry between the generations, the different generations. It basically hit young people, and there's that conflict, or what you see a lot of these days, especially online and stuff, about, the older generations and the younger generations, clashing online and all this sort of thing. So there is I did appreciate that, but when you really examine it, it is a bit convoluted and ridiculous. But it's Clown in a Cornfield, so I'm going with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I know. I just wanted that extra little oomph. Like, I thought a really good misdirect would have been Quinn's father's involved.
That would have been a big twist. Although maybe
that would have been a better twist because, but he's such a nice guy and he's trying to work with his wife, but that's why he brought her to this town.
I mean,
I thought that would have been a nice little twist.
I mean, again, as I say, I would certainly give this a pass. I enjoyed it, but there is, when there are certain things maybe that could have been realized better, but overall, in every department, it's well done.
There's a funny, when Janet and Quinn are in the house and they're being chased by the pitchfork clown, and the clown pitchfork is Janet. This is how funny and clever the comedic timing is. She gets stabbed with the pitchfork. She falls on the ground, and Quinn goes after her. Goes, "Oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God, is it bad? Is it bad?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's pretty bad." And the clown's coming from behind, so she rips off the pitchfork from Janet and sticks it into the clown.
Yeah.
And the clown falls down next to Janet's body, who've now been both pitchforked. And Janet's last words is, "I hate you, Quinn." And the clown says, "Me too."
No, I mean, there's some good lines and stuff. I mean, none of it overall is groundbreaking stuff, but it works.
Yeah, but it's not timing. I mean, it's when the doc is trying, he's being held at gunpoint to save the guy who got shot, got his hand blown off, right? And he decides to trick the guy who's got him at gunpoint and stab him in the side of the throat with a huge fucking knife. And the doc goes, "Okay, now listen, don't take the knife out. He tells the killer, don't take the knife out because you. But he starts taking the knife and goes, no, don't. Okay, you know what? Now you're just gonna bleed out.
Yeah. And I would say as well that the actress who plays Quinn is pretty solid. She's very good.
Yeah, yeah, and again, you're right. They all look like the original Scream cast when they were younger. They look like their age.
Although I would say that I was sort of doing my homework sort of thing. The actress who plays Quinn is actually about 26, although she would have been about 24 when she made this. But I was impressed by all of the cast, but especially the young cast.
Yeah, it's well paced, well acted, well shot. I mean, it's
not groundbreaking, but
can't really
it
fault it.
well.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the last act being one big chase scene, some very funny jokes and one-liners, it could have been a bust because, like I said in the beginning, you didn't get any scares. It's just more fun than anything else.
It's a runaround, basically. It's literally a runaround around cornfields and all sorts, but an entertaining one at the same time.
I do like when they're the big showdown in the factory, and the dad comes through in the car, and he kills pretty much half the clowns. One gets his head, crushed. The other one gets a pull through it. The wife gets a pull through her, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And you have Quinn, who the sheriff's going after Quinn, and the sheriff's being a smart ass. You kids think you're all smarter than us, and she outsmarts Quinn, and then she takes the cattle prod.
Yeah.
And shoves it down his throat. It's the best death, hands down.
And all sorts, yeah.
Yeah.
And Will Sasso is always, he can do the sort of these types of films like in his sleep, no problem. He's been in all sorts over the years.
So let me get this straight. So he's going to hang his kid, and he's going to drive away because he's on top of the car. Once he drives away, Cole will get hung. He drives away, Arthur, and obviously Doc get Cole down. They survive. Quinn, Cole, and the father survive. And they're going to drive off, and Rust, and they're going to drive away. Who's the clown they run over? Is that Arthur?
And that's maybe the teacher. I was thinking, sorry. Do you mean at the very end? Oh, the very end? That's Arthur. I assumed.
I didn't get that. So he pulled out of the garage to kill his kid.
Arthur, I think.
So but why would you? So she gets behind the wheel, and the father goes, "Fuck it, we're done dealing with these fuckers. Run them over." Why would you stand there and let the car? It takes about 60 seconds for her to get to him. He's just standing there waving a chainsaw.
Well, maybe it's not Arthur because Arthur doesn't. Arthur's Cole's dad, yeah. So he doesn't.
I thought he drove away.
He has clown makeup. Although maybe he did wear a mask earlier on.
Yeah, but
I assumed it was him.
Yeah,
Arthur.
See, that's why I get. Maybe they open for a sequel. I don't know.
Sort of not annoyed, but sort of nitpicking the fact that whenever someone gets hit by a car, they don't explode with blood everywhere. But I know it's for effect.
Well, again, that's the comedic part of it. Yeah, they're going to do that just to have fun.
And Quinn loves to drive.
I didn't get it, especially because it's a Volkswagen Bug. I mean, what the fuck? That's not going to make people splat.
That was part of Quinn's journey where she didn't want to drive a modern car. She could only drive a modern car. She couldn't drive an old car. So then, with the gears. So she eventually learned to drive an old car and, and run the clown down. Oh, sorry, exploded the clown with the car. But yeah, I got the impression that was Arthur.
I can't remember. I got to watch it again because I think if that's the car he drove off in to hang Cole, then he must have just parked the car. That's the car they were going to take to get out of there, and he stayed to attack him. That's what I think happened. Otherwise, why would Arthur? He pretty much kills himself.
One of the clowns anyway.
Whatever. But yeah, guys, this is a pleasant surprise, guys. This is good fun. I have it on my 4K collection. I enjoy it. I like my slashers, and I like good slashers. And this is a good slasher. You have a good time. And again, if you like Tucker versus Dale,
enjoyable.
Tucker, Dale versus Evil, you'll get the humor, and you'll have a good laugh. Get some good gore. You won't roll your eyes at it. You'll go with it. It won't
piss you off. Yeah. So you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. All right, guys. We are done with the Children of Corn. Woo-hoo! Thank God. Now we're going back to the Scream franchise. I'm excited for my Scream. I don't want to I'm not looking reviews. I don't do that. I like to go in with my own, clear-minded and just go in and enjoy it for what it is. I hope Kevin Williams is back writing it and directing, and we got Neve Campbell back, which is nice. So, and some of the core members are back. So I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully, when you hear the next podcast, this excitement will still be excited.
Our next film, basically, that's
So-
a long-winded way of saying that the next up is Scream 7.
Yep. There you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Massive, great downloads this month, especially a lot of Children of Corn fans out there. So good on you. But listen, give us a shout at citizenframe_podcast on Instagram and, of course, Facebook, or give us a shout at email at citizenframe@outlook.com. And yeah, give us a shout. We got a lot of new viewers out there, especially in the U.S. and in Brazil and South America. And so always feel free to reach out, something you like us to do or tweak or whatever. It's only constructive criticism. What if it's something you hear us, not where you want me to fire Trevor, no problem. Just send me an email. I need
Get a petition going.
I just need one.
Did I ever tell you about the time?
Don't need
Did
a
I ever tell you
petition.
about the time as a kid I got a death threat through the post? And it
makes
was done
sense.
like, the old, like in the films where the death threats would be sent with the letters cut out of old newspapers and stuff. It was exactly like that.
Yeah.
Turned out it was my mate being a complete dick, but there you go.
Those are the days when you can send your friend death threats.
Exactly. And it was taken in the spirit that was intended. You know what I mean? Nowadays it's all done by text message,
all right.
email.
Yeah, I know. It's so impersonal. And then you got to do an LOL after you threaten your friend. Then you got to put LOL.
Someone to send me a letter, or maybe even call them a door. Well, maybe not.
All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. Take care of yourselves, guys, and we'll chat soon with the new Scream. All the best.